the LEAP approach, I think, is a little bit confusing because L is locate, E is evaluate, A is assess, and P is prepare. And evaluate and assess are synonyms, and so I even like have to think through how to spell LEAP so that I remember like the E in the LEAP as the next step. So that creates a lot of confusion, and also a lot of the components like fold in on each other. So it's not like this super discrete step. It's a little bit confusing. But here's how we frame it. The L is about like understanding or just identifying what you do and where, right? So like we have a factory at this location, and we have, you know, water that we use and pollution that we emit, and land that we use, whatever that might be. So most companies, even if they don't have this information like centrally tracked in their business at to date, like most companies can figure that stuff out because it's internal stuff about them, right? But the next question then is, and this is the evaluate piece, is what do those things mean for the ecosystems where you're operating? And like historically, the scope of what companies had to focus on is, are we complying with local regulations around pollution emission or land use or encroachments and stuff like this, right? And if they are, they, you know, pay fines and do remediation and stuff like this. But it's not really been incumbent upon them to go into the next step of, okay, well, what does it mean for the ecosystems? Who's being impacted by what we're doing, right? That's always been with communities or with the government, like they're policing companies and in theory policing companies and preventing any of that, you know, any of those externalities. But that's the next step that companies now need to answer, is like, how is what we do impacting the ecosystems where we're operating? And then the A part is, and how does that translate into risks and opportunities for the firm? So there's a lot of pathways to go through impacts and dependencies to get to risks and opportunities, right? There's not like these discrete lines. It's like a network of possibilities. But that's essentially what the LEAP approach is trying to help companies think through. This piece around the risks and opportunities is really what the regulators care about. It's what investors care about. They're like, they want to see how are companies thinking about and addressing these and managing these risks, like any other risk in the business. Are you managing your inventory well? Are you managing your people well, for, you know, so that you don't have high turnover? Like there's just all these different risk and good business practices that investors care about, and nature is the latest one that is becoming important, that they want to see. So that's ultimately what it's getting to. And then the P, prepare, is like prepare to report and respond.